Hello guys, we're on another list on the top 10s. Yes, there's a lot of lists on the site. And yeah, we're going over the most overrated superhero movies of all time. Most overrated superhero movies of all time, according to this site. And yeah, we're going all down the list. I will of course be at, see if I agree with the rankings or not. And the first one is Guardians of the Galaxy, and the comment is it has no likes, so obviously nobody is is looking for it. But this guy hates this. This is what he says. This isn't like Batman or Robin or Catwoman. Oh, it's so bad, it's good. This is a superhero movie, it's so bad, it's terrible. There's no enjoy. Have you seen the movie? Do you only watch the Batman movies? Okay, you know, if you want to watch if you want to see a movie that 5-year-old minded idiots, let's go watch any Illumination movie. Okay, this movie is, I don't think it really is deserving to be the most overrated superhero movies of all time, considering that there are definitely much more overrated movies in the MCU alone. And yeah, it's not really worthy of number one overrated. There's a lot more overrated films than Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people like this movie too. The cast and plot and all that stuff is very great, and the funny moments and stuff, and heartfelt moments. I don't know why. It's just probably this guy who put it on here. That he would cut himself a knife and lick a cactus. And yeah, this guy must be a DC fanboy. This guy and it has no likes. So obviously this guy's either trolling or he hates the movie for stupid reasons. Next is The Dark Knight. Yeah, The Dark Knight is going to be on this list considering that it's the most... I think it's it's pretty overrated. Overrated does not really mean bad, but yeah, people, DC fans would say The Dark Knight's the best superhero movie of all time. To argue with you to the end of the universe, it is a great movie, but yeah, I don't really, argue with you to the end of the day that Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie of all time. They'll argue with you to the end of the day. It's fourth on IMDb's top 250 movies of all time. It's also the third on the top 10 on the greatest movies of all time. And yeah, it is a bit overrated. I don't think it's super overrated like some other movies that have come out later, but yeah, The Dark Knight is pretty overrated. Third on the list is Black Panther. Yeah, Black Panther, Black Panther is, it's popular because of the, Twitter, and the mainstream media kept saying that Black Panther is this amazing masterpiece. And it's just another brand Marvel movie. It's just another generic, superhero movie. And you have all these, critics, Rotten Tomatoes give you a number. And, it's definitely overrated among, the woke crowd. Yeah, it's definitely deserving to be on this list, considering the woke crowd considers Black Panther like, the, greatest movie of all time. Rotten Tomatoes gave it, put higher than every other movie. So yeah, by Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, it's overrated. Definitely, they gave Black Panther the number one greatest movie of all time. They have not changed it. They think that Black Panther is better than movies that got highest scores, like 98 to 100%. And yeah, and they all freaked out when Black Panther didn't get 100% on Rotten Tomatoes because it's, we don't know why. But yeah, the plot, is average for movie. The villain is actually one of the best parts of the movie. But yeah, you have really bad CGI in the movie. The plot is all over the place and stuff. Yeah, this movie is just... it's not... And it made $1.3 billion because, the 5 people on Twitter were saying, oh my god, you have to see Black Panther. It's this amazing revolutionary movie. There was nothing revolutionary. There's nothing revolutionary about Black Panther, And yeah, next is and same thing with Captain Marvel. There's nothing revolutionary about Captain Marvel either. Next is Amazing Spider-Man 2. This movie is... Nobody really cares about this movie anymore. Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's kind of forgotten among movies. So like Hellboy, nobody even watched Hellboy. Superman 2, Avengers Endgame. Yeah, Avengers Endgame is among hero movies, superhero movies. It's definitely overrated. It's a lot. Avengers Endgame is still fun to watch, but it's just kind of like, oh look, you have crazy feminist scenes in this movie. You have Brie Larson in this movie. It's always drags this movie down. Okay. You also have a lot of plot holes in this movie, even more than Infinity War, way more than, for example. Okay. And you have I think the fact that the highest grossing movie of all time now makes it overrated. Okay, the fact that Disney had to re-release a movie with like 10 minutes of extra scenes that was completely pointless to see. Oh, you have to see these extra scenes are so important, but they weren't really that great. And yeah, and still puts it past it. Next is Batman vs Superman. Nobody really likes Batman vs Superman. It's not overrated because it sucks. Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is. Thor Ragnarok isn't that overrated. It's definitely way better than Thor Dark World. It's definitely a much better improvement. The story was improved. The comedy, was much more better. The fights were better. Everything they improved everything among used to be the weakest in the MCU, the Thor franchise, and really I think it's the best out of the three Thor movies. Considering the first Thor movie was like an 8 hour, 7 hour, 10 movie, and For the Dark World was For the Dark World, and yeah, For Ragnarok is way better than those other two movies. Yeah, next is The Incredibles. Oh yes, this is probably the most overrated movie ever made. Probably the most overrated movie ever made. You can't say anything bad about this movie, and you have all these Disney and Pixar fanboys saying, "Oh, you don't ever had a childhood if you don't like The Incredibles, you like all these other superhero movies, but you don't like The freaking Incredibles, okay?" I still like the fact that this movie is just so overrated. People go, on the best movies of all time list, this movie is always on here. Even on IMDb's list, it's on here, on there. And I don't understand what's so great and amazing about The Incredibles. It's just basically, they just took the Fantastic Four and made some four people instead of the Fantastic Four. They even take some of their superpowers. They say, basically Disney's like, okay, we don't have the Fantastic Four, so we'll make our own superheroes. And the movie is not really that memorable. The villain is okay. It's not this amazing, character like the Incredibles fanboys and Disney fanboys and Pixar fanboys all make him out to be this, amazing villain. Oh, he's not a superhero, so he wants to become a superhero anyways and becomes bad guy, okay? Oh, yeah, so, he's not this, and they act like he's the most amazing villain ever. Yeah, it's an average movie that gets praised just because it has a Pixar logo on it, okay? Incredibles 2, it's basically the worst version of The Incredibles. I think that, yeah, you don't really see any videos saying how the first Incredibles sucks, but there's a lot of people who don't like the sequel to Incredibles 2, and it's really just showing how Pixar is going downhill. Dark Knight Rises, yeah. It's actually underrated in the first The Dark Knight movie, Batman Begins. It's kind of, saddled by The Dark Knight. This movie is kind of saddled by The Dark Knight. I think both of these movies, both Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, are equal in quality. Batman Begins, I think, is a tiny bit worse than the other two, but yeah, this movie is kind of like overshadowed by its sequel, and yeah. Next is Civil War. Civil War has a very, very great, it has a, but yeah, but again, a lot, this guy's, but yeah, there is, it's called Civil War, but the 10-minute fight scene was very great. And it's more than just a 10-minute fight scene. There's also another fight scene with Captain America, and it seems that you stopped watching it after that scene, and you have Civil War. It's not overrated. I don't think Civil War is overrated, especially the most overrated MCU movie is Black Panther. Okay, Civil War actually they actually expanded on the characters more. And yeah, there's actually a few fight scenes, and the last fight scene was actually pretty emotional as well. Spider-Man 2, yeah, Spider-Man 2, there will be these people saying, oh, Spider-Man 2 is the greatest comic book movie of all time. It's the greatest movie of all time, And, it's the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. Of course, if you compare it to the web series, and that's what people really had, definitely it's better than that series. That series is garbage, but yeah. People say, oh, Spider-Man 2 is the best superhero movie. Even going far as that, okay? It's not really the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. And yeah, the best Spider-Man movies have come out, and yeah, there's basically kind of like The Dark Knight. This movie is only liked for nostalgia. It's kind of the nostalgia factor why this movie is considered the best Spider-Man movie. It's why nostalgia factor, I think, really why people like these movies. Why Spider-Man 2. Maybe someone has seen Spider-Man 2 recently and can tell you why people like it so much. You can tell me in the comments. But I think it's really because of nostalgia. Deadpool, because I like a lot of movies because of nostalgia alone. And yeah, I can understand why a lot of people like this movie. But I think this movie is a bit overrated. Don't really think it's the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. There's better Spider-Man movies that have come out since. Not the web series, but you know which ones I'm talking about. Next is Deadpool. Come on, Deadpool's not overrated. Deadpool is funny, okay? These people must hate Deadpool. That's why they hate Deadpool. I don't think Deadpool's overrated. The reason why Deadpool is so successful because he's Deadpool. He's funny. He's actually in the top 10 superheroes as well even on this site. And yeah, Batman Begins. I don't really think it's overrated. It's kind of like it's kind of foreshadowed by a Dark Knight, Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's not really overrated. Yeah, it's not overrated. The arc is pretty great of Spider-Man in the movie. How he has to he uses his powers, but he's not responsible enough, so he has to take matters in his own stand without his power, without his suit, and and try to beat the villain without his suit. I think that's a pretty great story arc. X-Men: The Last Stand, don't really care for X-Men movies that much except for Deadpool. So yeah, Suicide Squad. This movie's terrible. The only it got an Oscar for some category that no one really cares about. It was a different category, like acting or something. Then yeah, people have the right being, but it was like some stupid category that got won for. So Suicide Squad, nobody really likes this movie anymore. No one really talks about the greatness of Suicide Squad. Yeah, this movie's kind of forgettable. It's not really that memorable. I watched it once and that's it. I was like, yeah, this movie isn't that great, isn't that amazing. I immediately forgot about this movie like 10 days afterwards. The only reason I remember this movie exists is because I go see the other DC movies that are much more better than Suicide Squad, and yeah, this movie is just, no, this movie's forgettable. Blade is not, it's underrated. It's an old movie that really nobody cares about. Yeah. Avengers is not that overrated. Avengers is not really overrated. Especially considering it's the time when it's probably mostly DC fans who hate the first Avengers, okay? Because they did better than that movie. All the Avengers movies are way better than the Justice League movie, and that movie, I still enjoy watching it, but Justice League is still a big mess. And they kind of like rushed it out. Avengers, they actually took time. They didn't rush it out. They developed the characters before it in their own movies. When someone was confused, they rushed out the characters in Avengers. I think you're talking about Justice League. That's Justice League. They rushed out the characters, okay? You had a Batman and Superman movie. You had a Suicide Squad movie, which had nothing to do with, the main Justice League characters. And you really sort of, they really said the same thing as Marvel. They had they had a Wonder Woman movie and a Batman movie with Superman, but you could have made like a solo Batman movie. They had a solo Superman movie, you could have made a solo Batman movie, and you could have made a solo Flash movie and the Aquaman movie before, Justice League came out and introduced Cyborg and as a character in Justice League. It would have been much more better if they did that way. But yeah, next is Infinity War. Infinity War isn't as overrated as its sequel, Endgame. But yeah, next is Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is not overrated. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's not overrated. Amazing Spider-Man 2, nobody really cares about that movie. It's kind of forgotten already. People consider that to be the worst Spider-Man movie. Logan. No, Logan's not overrated. It's not that overrated. Incredible Hulk, not really overrated. Iron Man 2, it's really overhated. Yeah, it's overhated. I don't really care for the movie. Age of Ultron as well, not really many people, Age of Ultron was kind of like Justice League. No, it's kind of like, it wasn't, it's kind of like Justice League where it was some of the character arcs like Quicksilver, basically killing him off for no reason, why leaving Scarlet Witch to be alive because they had, I don't know why, but yeah. The first Avenger has kind of underrated. The first Avenger is underrated. Fantastic Four, nobody cares about that movie. Ant-Man, I think it's kind of underrated. It's not really, when you look at MCU, the top tier MCU movies, Ant-Man's not the one. Watchmen, I think that's underrated too. Deadpool 2, yeah, Deadpool 2 is, it's not in the same quality as Deadpool 1. It's Wonder Woman, okay, basically Wonder Woman is definitely not overrated, especially compared to Captain Marvel, the most overrated superhero movie of all time. Second most overrated Marvel superhero is Captain Marvel. But yeah, Spider-Man the Spider-Verse, no, it's not overrated. A year ago, I would have agreed this movie is overrated, but I actually have seen it. It's actually pretty great. So yeah, Man of Steel. Yeah, no, Superman is not really that interesting a character, so yeah, it's not really hard to make a bad Superman movie. Superman Returns, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man 2, yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's kind of like the lower tier movies. Ghost Rider Avenger. That how many people like that movie? Iron Man, Iron Man's not overrated. It set up the MCU. It was the first movie to set up a universe that nobody was expecting it to be made after the first movies. Hulk. Nobody cares about Hulk. That movie's considered to be the worst Marvel movie of all time. Besides, And yeah, this is the end. Titans go to movie. Don't worry. Yeah, it's kind of like down to movies that really are kind of like underrated, overhated. And yeah, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was in the contenders. Venom. Yeah, that's the reason why I like Venom because he looks cool. But yeah, it was better than Incredible Hulk, and yeah. But yeah, this movie is. I think that Venom is a very popular movie. Made more money than they expected to be. And Captain Marvel, it's only because Rotten Tomatoes gave it such a high score. They praised Captain Marvel as the greatest Marvel hero of all time, which he really is, and he is just a brand prank. And yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.